Next on Cybercrime.
I call hackers a national resource.
I've always had a soft spot in my heart for creative crime.
It's Hacker Haven in New York. Hundreds of hackers hang out at H2K. We'll show you what Hope 2000 or Hackers on Planet Earth is all about.
What's the best way to catch cyber criminals? We'll look at different business models behind busting those who break your system.
Cybercrime is brought to you by Symantec.
Hi, and welcome to another show. This week there were some major developments concerning two cybercrime legal battles. One in Washington, where a bill to ban online gambling was defeated. The other in New York, where the movie industry and hackers faced off in a federal lawsuit involving DVD encryption. We'll bring you the details in our news and review. But first, Jennifer has a special report on H2K. Jen?
Thanks, Alex. For some hackers, it's been a long time coming. In fact, the last H2K convention was held in New York City back in August 1997. Well, a lot has certainly changed since then, both in terms of technology and even perhaps hacker personality. H2K stands for Hope 2000. This is the third Hope Convention under the brainchild of Emmanuel Goldstein, the founder and editor of 2600, the Hacker Quarterly. So what happens when some of the world's foremost hackers converge in one spot for 3 days? In a Cybercrime special report, we take you inside H2K.
Yo, we don't want no cameras pointing up in here, man. Get
The cyber revolution has ushered in new frontiers of sabotage.
Why is there a virus in the H2K when I download it?
I'm a former spy.
When Windows machines start up, they send out a packet which says, hey, I'd like to use this name. Is that okay with everybody? So one of the other things my program does is say, no.
I believe that hackers are extremely refreshing because essentially they're showing us that the emperor is naked. They're showing us all the problems with the critical infrastructures that our digital economy depends on. So I call hackers a national resource.
I've always had a soft spot in my heart for creative crime.
Hope stands for Hackers on Planet Earth, and it's a really interesting conference about the digital underground, hackers, telephones, but also about privacy, computers, internet.
I'm really excited about the whole conference. I think it's just one of the most fantastic things that can happen in the community, actually getting people physically in the same place, meeting and hanging out for a weekend. And over, I've actually also heard people who are new to this whole scene who are really impressed with the quality of the talks.
Well, we have people like Chuck D basically advocating MP3 all the way.
Yeah, they're hearing talks about real serious issues like individual freedoms on the internet and security, obviously, and privacy issues. I mean, there's even a panel of parents talking about how to talk to your kids about issues of using the internet. So,
for me, the most important thing that comes out of things like this is meeting people and getting new ideas, being inspired. These people, even though they don't realize it, are moving in a political field.
My personal dream of dreams would be that some patriotic citizen could find a way to go into the Defense Department and DEA, FBI, etc.'s computers and erase everything they know.
We're putting together a crack group of hackers. As an inventor, I'm moving on to other projects that I hope to change the world with.
I see here discussions about hacktivism, about political issues.
The message, the underground sort of idea of, like hacking the system, any system, computers, sociology, I mean, it's just continuing to evolve.
What does control of technology mean? And I think hackers are interested in that, but I'm not sure that the feds are, or they're not interested in hearing it from us.
A lot of the people are getting older, they're thinking, what is the point of all this? You just play around with the damn computer all your life, so are we doing something? Are we going somewhere with this? So I think hacktivism comes from people looking for something to do with these skills they've got.
It is serious people sharing serious information.
I think hacking or being a hacker is an attitude on how to live your life much more than anything necessarily to do with computers at all.
It isn't just purely about the technology. It seems like hackers are getting more sophisticated. They're understanding their impact on society a lot more, and they're actually seeing if they can affect things a lot more.
The bottom line is that these hackers have come of age.
I'm going to do something really crazy now and talk about something technical.
I'm meeting lots of people here who are doing really cool stuff, people who are new to the scene, people who have really great ideas, and it's just the social aspect of it. It's critical. I mean, this is kind of like it's like the town square for hackers.
100% sweatshop approved.
For me personally, the best thing about the conference is meeting new people and getting new connections.
You can do a lot of stuff online, but I think there's nothing that quite replaces this personal, face-to-face interaction.
We need to have fun. Hacker conferences are fun.
This year's H2K convention was, without a doubt, riddled with political undertones. Are hacking and politics becoming one in the same? Some would argue on the side of hacktivism, saying you can no longer separate the two. Well, in the coming weeks, we'll know more as two well-known hacking conventions converge on Las Vegas, starting with Black Hat, followed by DEF CON. Of course, you can count on Cyber-Crime for the most comprehensive coverage. Both Alex and I will be there, along with our web team. So where do hacking and politics cross, and what type of coverage would you like to see from DEF CON? Tell us in our chat room on Monday between 6 and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. During that time, you can also catch a rebroadcast of the show. We'll see you Monday in the chat room. And after you chat, take a second or two and check out our security scanner. More than 6,000 people have already tried it, and we're getting lots of positive feedback. Just click on the icon at the top right-hand side of our webpage, and the scanner can check if your computer has any of the top 5 viruses, like the Live Stages virus, the Resume virus, or Happy99. You can even find out if you have up-to-date antivirus software. Coming up on Cybercrime, the battle over online gambling is heating up on Capitol Hill. How close is a ban on the industry? We've got the story next. In Cybercrime news this week, Internet gambling supporters celebrate a victory. The House of Representatives failed to approve a ban on Internet gambling with the 2/3 majority needed to ensure its passage. If it passed, the bill would have allowed the government to block servers offering Internet wagering and would have instated harsh penalties against gambling operators.
Criminal penalties of up to 4 years in prison and $20,000 in fines. Many of the people who are participating in this have facilities offshore, but they come in and out of the United States regularly, and I doubt that some of them will want to give up coming into this country.
Critics of the ban say enforcement would be a major problem, especially since most online gambling is based in countries where it is legal. Revenues from Internet gambling are expected to reach $3 billion by 2002. Already, about 1 million Americans gamble online every day. Meanwhile, the House passed a new bill aimed at hindering spammers. The bill, which requires anyone sending unsolicited email to provide a valid return email address. It gives ISPs the right to sue spammers in federal court with a fine of up to $50,000. And be on the lookout, there's a phony PayPal.com called PayPie.com. The fake site looks almost exactly like the original. It appears the fake site is being used to pilfer usernames and passwords from customers of the online payment system. But so far, there have been no user reports that any PayPal funds have been stolen as a result of the scam. And the White House says it will propose legislation placing limits on cyberspace surveillance. This after civil liberties groups protested the FBI's new Carnivore program. This can monitor email and anything else on an ISP's email server. The White House wants to regulate email taps with the same restrictions placed on telephone wiretaps. Until now, law enforcement agencies have been able to monitor electronic communication with only modest court supervision. The White House would propose that law enforcement agencies obtain a court order before monitoring any email messages. Well, on Monday, the motion picture industry and the publisher of an online hacker magazine faced off in federal court. At issue, DVD encryption code. Motion Picture Association, which is representing 8 movie studios, is suing 2600, the Hacker Quarterly, for posting the code that cracks DVD encryption. The MPA claims by posting the code, 2600 violated the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. This prohibits the distribution of any technology that bypasses copyright protection. Eric Corley, a.k.a. Emmanuel Goldstein, the publisher of the online magazine, took the witness stand on Thursday. And finally, more problems for Microsoft. A new bug has been discovered in its Outlook email program. But unlike other bugs, this latest one is activated as soon as users download their email. 2 independent researchers found the hole and say hackers are able to hide software codes and the date and timestamp. Microsoft says it's working on a fix. Still ahead on cybercrime.
Well, computer security is definitely always going to be an arms race.
How do you keep up and track down hackers who break into your system? It's big business. We'll look at what's out there next.
Welcome back to the show. So when it comes to computer security, what is your priority? Stopping the computer attacks themselves and securing your system, or taking the process yet one step further and identifying, maybe even trapping the attackers? Well, there's no shortage of security solutions and security companies out there. But the first step is just familiarizing yourself with the universe of security approaches that exist to prevent unauthorized access.
How we deal with cybercrime is one of the most critical issues that law enforcement has ever faced.
The recent distributed denial of service attacks proves a theory security experts have been predicting for years, and hit home the notion that many computer networks just don't consider security a priority.
People don't see it as helping the bottom line. It seems to be a black hole, or you just spend money, okay, and what are you giving us back? And it tends to be not until you're broken into and you lose space and you lose man hours trying to repair systems and downtime that all of a sudden security becomes a high-profile issue.
Major company losses translate to major investments in the security industry. So now the industry must get creative in rising to the new security challenges. Allison Taylor, Director of Product Marketing with PGP in Santa Clara, California.
If you think about what the Internet really is, it was designed for the Defense Department for a limited communication between selected parties. It's a patchwork environment, people putting software on top of software on top of software without having a cohesive structure to it, which means there's a lot of vulnerability still, many holes, and it's going to be a moving target.
And it's not just about infiltrating major companies. According to Elias Levy, CTO of Security Focus, faster connections paired with security holes make the home user an attractive target.
With more people coming online with DSL and cable modems, which actually are high bandwidth connections, then those machines could be used as well for these attacks. Security is never about absolutes. It's all about layers and how many layers somebody has to get through before they're able to break in.
The first layer is classically a risk assessment tool that gives an overview of the system's vulnerabilities.
A second layer would be a firewall that you actually put in place to control access. Additional layers might include intrusion detection on some key computers, and what that means is you have a system on important computers that detects tampering or detects a hack as it's happening.
PGP, a network associates company, offers a suite of products that accommodate these layers, including CyberCop, a real-time scanner for computer intrusions. CyberCop scanners revealed that universities were a source of the recent denial-of-service attacks.
We scanned over 66,000 machines, and out of those, 8 actually had the agents embedded on their machines, which means they participated in the attacks, the denial-of-service attacks.
But some security experts feel that something more than multiple layers of security is the answer. Why not create a decoy system designed to be broken into? A honeypot, if you will, where an attacker's every keystroke is recorded. It's a product Recourse Technologies in Palo Alto, California calls Mantrap. Chief Technology Officer Michael Lyle.
What our solution does, what we call our covert security solution, allows you to draw in attackers to a virtual environment and actually determine what they would do, what their intentions are, and then take actions to respond and protect the rest of your network. And if you're interested, track back and see where the attacker is coming from, and prosecute.
And building a better product means constantly checking in with members of the underground hacking community.
What's your take on the distributed denial of service stuff that happened in February?
Mad Jay. Getting all this press about it being hacking, that's pretty lame.
Yeah, so you want to consider it hacking?
No, I don't want to consider it hacking.
Well, computer security is definitely always going to be an arms race. New technology is going to come out to break into systems, and we're going to figure out new ways to try to protect those systems. We think that in the future that spoofed attacks and attacks that are reflected off other hosts on the internet that are poorly secured will just continue to grow, and they will make tracking where these attacks are coming from even more difficult than it is today.
There's a lot more dollars going over the internet right now, so we're trying to determine who the new targets might be. A lot more reward for the hackers, unfortunately, today, because so much is being traded digitally. All of your assets are now digital, and that for the hacker is just the grand prize.
Now, Alex, we've done stories on security and protecting your computer before. Most recently, we did a story on counterpane, but that approach was more as a consulting service, not so much based on products. This is different.
Right, that's right. This is with products, and the issue becomes, is it home users or corporate users?
Right.
And that's, of course, going to affect how much money you're going to spend. In our story, we identified 3 traditional layers of security. There's risk assessment tools, firewalls, and intrusion detection systems. And for all of these, there are just so many products out there. For risk assessment, on the corporate side, EI has a product called Retina, and there's another from Internet Security Solutions, or ISS. For firewalls, again, plenty. There's corporate firewalls like Firewall One and home firewalls like Zone Alarm and Norton Internet Security 2000. What we've done on our website is compile a list of links to these and many more companies, along with some guidelines on security online. And of course, we can't forget our own scanner, which is on the site, which can check your vulnerabilities and give you an overall assessment.
Right, but let's get back to the honeypot.
Right.
For a moment, some of the criticisms that we have heard is that this could be a form of entrapment.
Right, and entrapment, the thing to think about, Jennifer, and for all our viewers, is that when it comes to entrapment, you have to have a state actor. You have to have someone from the government.
Not a private company.
Exactly, so entrapment doesn't apply here.
All right, thanks, Alex. This brings us now to our poll of the week. What's your take on honeypot technology that essentially baits and captures cyber intruders? Would you use it to protect your home or business? If you think it's unfair and would never use it, pick A. Maybe it's not for you and your business, but you believe it can be a great deterrent for others. That's B. And finally, there's C. Not only do you agree with the honeypot approach, but you would seriously consider using it to deter and even catch criminals. Give us your opinion at Cyber-Crime.com. Still ahead on Cybercrime.
The Internet is an international network that allows somebody from virtually any part of the world to attack you.
Gene Schultz from Global Integrity Corporation gets back to basics with some advice about protecting your online business from net predators. You won't want to miss Chaos Theory next.
All right, welcome back. Hey, if you've got a cybercrime question for us, email us at cybercrime@zdtv.com. We've got our C3 panel of experts standing by to help. This week, Lorna from New York writes, I was wondering if there's any known way to trace the origin of emails. Lorna, Brad Templeton, the chairman of the board at the Electronic Frontier Foundation, is here to answer your question. Well, at least he's here virtually. Brad?
You can track some emails, and ZDTV will include some links to how to do that on their website. But in the end, you may just track them back to a Hotmail account, like you have, and that may get you nowhere unless they've broken some really serious laws. That's the way it should be. That's the way it is for paper mail. Now, harassment can be a violation of the law, so you may want to look into that. But your best bet is probably just to get some email software that can do blocking of particular users. Hotmail may not be able to do that, but most of the big email clients can. I'm Brad Templeton.
Thank you, Brad. And Lorna, as you know, your exclusive cybercrime hat is in the mail. Now, on to this week's Chaos Theory. Staying consistent with our security theme, we get back to the basics with Gene Schultz. The security inspector for the Global Integrity Corporation has some caveats for those businesses rushing to compete on the net. How do you stay safe online? Well, as we often say here on Cybercrime, the first step is know the risks. Otherwise, Schultz says, you're only welcoming chaos.
Internet security is like the Wild West. Back in the Wild West, you had to defend yourself. You had to carry your own gun. You had to adopt your own defensive measures. If you didn't, bad things happened to you. The same thing occurs today. The Internet is an international network that allows somebody from virtually any part of the world to attack you. There are potentially very severe kinds of losses that are possible from Internet connectivity that's unprotected. Just like in the case of the Wild West, you have to adopt the kinds of measures that make sure that the probability that you get hit, that you get attacked, that somebody breaks in, steals things from you, steals important documents and databases, that they don't happen. So the first step in trying to prepare yourself for Internet security is just being aware of what you might lose and how many ways that somebody might be able to compromise your systems and gain something of value.
Well, Alex, that's it for another episode of Cybercrime. We're so glad you could join us.
Here's a quick peek at what we're working on for next week.
You sell them all over the country. It wasn't just in San Jose, but you were selling them in almost all 50 states on the Internet.
This undercover investigator is talking about the newest fad in pirating software, peddling it for a fraction of the price using online auction sites. San Jose high-tech police pinpoints the pirate on next week's show. Until then, keep in touch, send feedback and story ideas to cybercrime@vdtv.com, and meet the Cybercrime staff in a chat room Monday from 6 to 7 p.m.
That's where we'll be. And, of course, for any breaking news or more details on all the stories we covered this week, go to our website.
Go to our website.
You know the address.
That's right, cybercrime.com.
Cybercrime.com, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.